Hello there. In this particular lesson, we will take a look at how we can add a table into our HTML page. So let's get started with it. So first of all, what we will do is we will use the tag that is table. So in our code for adding a table, we need to use the table tag. So if I add that over here, after adding the table tag, inside that we can add different rows or columns inside this table. So for adding a row, what we need to do is we just need to use tr for the table row. So if I add a table row over here, and inside this table row, we're going to be adding a first row in our table that will be using cd, and this cd will be the cell value that we're going to be adding in the table row. So different cell values we can add in the td. So let me create a table. So over here we will add different values. In this row, the first value can be a name of a student, that can be Jacob. The next value can be as marks or the percentage in numbers, that will be, let's say, 95, and we're going to be adding another value that will be the grade that he got in the exam. So it will be A plus. So if I add this particular thing over here, if we save the code, go back to our browser, try to refresh the page over here, so you can see we are getting this particular value inside the table that we have created. So we are not getting the exact table over here. So let me just check how we can add a table structure to it. So for giving it a table structure, what we need to do is we just need to add another tr tag, that will be another table row in our table. So if I do tr, and in here, instead of the td tag, we will add th tag for the table head. We are going to be adding the table head, that will be the name of the columns that we are creating over here. So the first one will be the name of the student. The second value can be the marks and the grade. So the second will be the marks. After adding marks, we will add the grades as well. And after adding this, if I save the code, go back to our browser, try to refresh it, now we can see a more kind of table look. So you can see there is name, with name there is a value that is Jacob, the marks is 95 and the grade is A plus. Similarly, we can add a number of values into it. So if I do multiple copies of it, so if I add the name as John, the marks can be 85, the grade can be B plus. And if I add that, go to the browser, try to refresh the page. Over here, now you can see another value that as John has been added into our table with the value as 85 and the grade as B plus. So this is how we can add a value to our table with the help of this particular piece of code that we have written. Also, if you want to add a border to our table, in that case, what we can do is in here, in our tag where we have the HTML code, we're going to be adding a tag that will be style tag. So if I do something like style, and in the style, we're going to be adding a border to the table that will be table, the elements that is table, comma, we're going to be adding th and td, and we're going to be providing a border to it. So border, and in here I will do 1 pixel, and we will do solid black. And if I do this, if we save this code after adding these 2 lines over here in our code, so if we go back to our browser window, try to refresh this page, over here you can see it is now showing this entire table in a table format with the borders as well. So we are getting the border, and we are getting the name column, the marks column, and the grade column with different rows and values associated to it. So this is how we can create a table of any values that we have inside our HTML code and add a border to it. with the help of this particular piece of code that we have added in the style tag. So this is how we can do that. So now I hope you have a clear idea of how you can create a table in HTML. So I think that was it for this particular lesson on adding a table into our HTML code. So without further ado, let's move to the next lesson of our course.